New York's Comptroller Tom DiNapoli paid a visit to Malone and Plattsburgh this week and talked about how, despite the recent uptick in cases, the North Country is weathering the fallout from the COVID outbreak better than the state as a whole.
Good, how you doing?
The Comptroller says during the summer and early fall, Clinton and Franklin counties' unemployment rates fell significantly from a high of nearly 15% in April to about 5%. And despite the loss of business from Canadians who haven't been allowed to cross the border, sales tax revenues have been better than many expected and up dramatically in September by 20% in Clinton County and 35% in Franklin County.
You've got some good news here. I know it's a tough time. I know it's not where we want it to be. I know not everybody that had a job a year ago has their job back today. But there are many, many positives for the North Country. Certainly compared to many other regions of the state, I think you should have a sense of confidence about how you've been weathering through this very, very tough time.
DiNapoli said the numbers show people are shopping and spending and staying locally, and that many people from other parts of New York who haven't been able to travel out of state have looked instead to the North Country to vacation.
You've got folks from other parts of the state that can't travel out of state and they're looking for places to go. Well, the North Country becomes a very attractive place for people to spend some time. By the way, that includes the New York State Comptroller. I had a lovely long weekend in Lake Placid at the end of August, and I have to tell you, I'd been to Lake Placid a number of times. The streets were pretty darn busy and pretty crowded, and a lot of folks had accents like mine, so for sure, you had a lot of downstaters coming up and spending money as well.
He also said the collection of sales tax on internet sales now increased at a time when many have remained at home. And while DiNapoli says the state's pension fund did take a hit when the markets fell back during the height of the outbreak, it has bounced back. North Country Assemblyman Billy Jones, who took DiNapoli on a tour of some businesses in the Malone area, says the Comptroller's perspective is important for local municipalities and county governments who are trying to get through the pandemic.
Certainly welcome him to see firsthand what these family-owned businesses, the backbone really of our economy here in the North Country, are doing.
In the town of Plattsburgh, Supervisor Michael Cashman says while some businesses have closed due to the pandemic, others have opened.
Our economy is doing some really successful things in some very challenging times. And what I mean by that is currently during the pandemic, in the town of Plattsburgh alone, over 100,000 square feet of new business is being developed. That gives us the light of hope.
The Comptroller says he is hopeful the lame duck session of Congress will bring another relief package that includes aid not only for the state and municipalities, but also public transit to help New York City's Metropolitan Transportation Authority avoid massive cuts in service, which in turn could significantly reduce orders for new buses and rail cars built here in the North Country.
The chairman of the MTA, Pat Foy, has outlined really the doomsday scenario. Severe cutbacks in service, basically the capital plan being put totally on hold, which would certainly impact on ordering of trains and equipment. If we don't get additional federal help, it'll be the end of public transit as we know it in the New York City metro region. And that, as I said, has implications for this part of the state as well. So when we talk about the need for additional federal aid, and I'm so glad you asked the question, it is certainly about state and local governments. It's certainly about additional help for our small businesses, but it certainly is about public transit as well. So yes, we want more money for state and local governments, but parallel to that, and just as urgent a request, we need that additional federal help. Without it, the MTA will not survive anywhere near its current form.